Hey everybody, it's TorontoUnicorn. So I just had my very first Bukkake night at a sex club, and I went as a single girl, no date. And I don't even really like cum on my face or anything. So for me, I was strictly there as a voyeur. But it was my very first experience, and I wanted to tell you all about it. So I do vlog about my experiences going to sex clubs, about all of my experiences involving sex and like dining out, good restaurants, things like that. But you got to check out TorontoUnicorn vlogs. There's a link in the description, but here's a little clip of that night. Here to have a good night voyeuristically. I'm going into Bukkake girl, and I'm coming out a Bukkake woman. I might not participate, but I'm still gonna see a lot of shit. So I definitely got to see some Bukkake. It was a really fun show. I had a wonderful time. I had multiple orgasms. So now I'm gonna give you the full details on this channel. So here we go. I arrived and there was an announcement by the Oasis staff that, you know, the event would start around 10 p.m. and that was like the Bukkake event, right? And so for anyone who doesn't know, Bukkake is the act of like multiple men ejaculating onto like one person. Usually their face or their mouth or whatever. It's usually like a blow bang in the sense of, from what I saw, there's assistants getting the ejaculation as well. Not all women offer that though, because I know a friend of mine who was considering participating, and she actually had me ask a question about whether the women participating, or men, had to also suck the dicks instead of just like receive the goodness. And so it was really up to everybody's individual preferences. So that was interesting to learn. So anyways, we're all socializing in the pool, and we're all kind of chit-chatting about like, are you going to the thing? Are you going? Do you like coming on girls' faces? Like all these kind of, you know, intrusive questions that only TorontoUnicorn likes to ask random people in the pool. And yeah, so everybody was talking about it, and there were some girls there, and I was like, so are you going to participate? And she was kind of shy, and I was like, did you bring goggles? And people, they looked at me and they're like, people bring goggles? And I was like, people bring goggles. I was like, people who are hardcore on this night apparently bring goggles so that they don't get the cum in their eye. So anyways, I was socializing, met a couple awesome people, and then we ended up going into the ballroom, and this is where they have like spectator sex and things at the club. And we get a spot in the very back. So I was kind of disappointed because I had to like climb through people because it was so full to like get a spot at the back. But I ended up kind of being beside a guy who had a little bit of fun bonding with over that, because there was a raised edge behind us. And so when the action got good, all we had to do is like elevate our asses up to this thing, and suddenly we'd see over everybody. So we were talking about how we would use like our Power Ranger energy power when we needed it. So anyways, we were sitting there, and then there was a fun demonstration from, you know, using fruits and things, licking it off people's bodies and things. But then it became time for Bukkake, and all they did was like say, all right, any volunteers? And what was really interesting is the very first dick I saw get sucked was from a guy, and giving a guy. So it was really interesting that off to the side there was like, you know, bisexual men, gay men, whatever it was, having their own experience to the side as well. So if you were a guy or a girl and you had never put your dick in a girl's mouth or a guy's mouth, you could literally go and do that as an experiment, because that's the time when it's an event like this, because they're indiscriminate dick, frankly. I don't mean to say that, like maybe they could still decline, but like it's really about the act of, you know, versus like who's up there. Sorry, but that's just what I think. So anyways, so finally we see these girls, and all these guys, no one's moving, no guy's hands on his dick or anything. We're all just sitting there like good voyeurs. And as soon as I saw women get up with their yoga mats and lay them on the floor and get on their knees, I saw every single man, maybe 4 or 5 exceptions, suddenly start preparing their dick. Like all of a sudden they all like rose up, and we're just like, I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And I was with the people I was with, and I was like, are you guys gonna do this? And they were like, no, like I just don't think I could like handle the pressure of that, and like I think I need more like, you know, like, you know, I need more than just the physical kind of thing. So it was interesting to hear that from some of the people as well. So I saw suddenly men swarm these bodies of people who are the recipients, and they were just moving from guy to guy to guy. There was a lineup of guys like getting their dicks hard. Literally, I heard one. Okay, so we were all hanging out chilling, and suddenly apparently there's a loud comer. There was a guy that was like a loud comer, And apparently he was like, like making all these big sounds, and we all like stop and watch. So anyways, yeah, so I got to see, what's interesting is I didn't get to see up close. It's not like in porn, right? Like I didn't get to like see all of the things go a-flying. It was a bunch of wiggly tight men's asses, because all I could see is their asses surrounding the girl. So all I could see is just the backside of it. So it wasn't, the voyeurism of it wasn't as all it was cracked up to be, but it was really interesting to see the people, the recipients. In my experience, for the most part, it was women, but there was a man as well who just loved the experience of like getting cum all over them, or like sucking as many D's as they can. So it was quite interesting. I certainly wouldn't do it myself. It's just not something that I even find in my fantasy land, but many people do, and I hope that they go and fulfill it, because Bukkake night is meant for this experience. You don't need any partners, just show up and you'll hopefully be included in a, you know, meetup of sorts that's gathered that evening. So anyways, that's my Bukkake story. I also did meet a lovely Jen, and I'll be doing a second video to tell all about that story, because frankly it deserves a video of its own. So not many times you've got like a random romantic kind of like one-of-a-kind night. And so this is kind of, it was a big deal. So I'm going to do a video on that as well. So stay tuned for part 2. But definitely subscribe to TorontoUnicorn Vlogs. I have a playlist on this channel called TorontoUnicorn Vlogs if you want to just grab the content from there as well. But in order to stay up to date with my crazy life, and hey, no promises where it goes, man. I mean, you're coming along with me on the journey of life. And sometimes that's sex clubs. Sometimes that's when I get pissed off and I start going on Tinder and I start massively dating. Whatever I'm up to that week, you're welcome to come with me. Hope you subscribe. I'm finally a month in on that channel, and I'm thrilled with the results. So I'm so glad you guys are all pervy voyeurists of my life, because I like to share all the dirty details, but only with a smiling audience. So thank you so much. Hope you subscribe.